Tom and Freddie, my friends, how are we going tonight?
Hello, mate. How's it going, Steven?
And you got
nice to be with you.
And you got your drinks out already. I love it.
Yeah, well, it's Monday night, isn't it?
I know.
It's Monday.
Diet Coke, nothing else.
What do you guys been up to? What have you guys been up to today, man?
Just living the life. We do like music stuff, kind of like teaching mostly, like as a semi-living, I guess.
Yeah,
both of us in the same line.
Yeah, we both do music programs. Freddie works at the School of Rock, and I work for a local council. Teaching kids how to start bands or do their own solo projects and write music and record and stuff like that. We've got a recording studio out there, so that's cool. We do that.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Well, there's the Coburn one for me. Same kind of thing, like youth work. And then there's another one that I go. It's called like a School of Rock, Perth. Big shout out to the School of Rock people.
I shouted out your work before you did. That's awkward.
Yeah. No, it's actually like the movie. The movie was based on the school. So there was a school first, because it's like an international franchise of the school. Like it's an American company.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they have like 200 schools around the world. We're number one now.
And
yeah. I mean, we were number two, but America are going through like tough COVID stuff. So
you guys have to make up for the numbers in Perth. I love it.
Yeah, that's how we roll. Man, like Perth's rocking, man. Like there's just so many keen little kids that just want to do like rock.
That's so cool to hear, man. How did you get into that?
There was this post on Facebook, in like one of these Perth music stuff, and it was like, energetic frontman needed to teach at the School of Rock, and I was like, this is my dream job.
This is what you came over here for.
Yeah, it was.
Moved all the way from Iran just for this.
Yeah, like Iranian Jack Black.
That's so good, man. That's so good.
So I kind of got involved in that as like one of the projects that we do, and it's just brilliant, man. We did the end of the season show at Civic on this weekend.
Oh yeah,
you were there.
Yeah,
and this season the theme is Judas Priest versus Black Sabbath, so it's gonna be
loud. It's gonna be there was a little bit of I heard a little bit of that scream on your intro video as well, where you were playing
the easy falsetto tricks. That's one of the stuff, like like in your instruments when you do like, there's some stuff in your
that looks fancy, but
one of the stuff that looks hard, but it's like the easiest thing you did.
If you can do it, like by no means, I would not want to try to attempt anything like that, man.
I don't know, man. I can teach it.
I haven't got the hair to pull it off though. So.
So you mean you don't have an afro under that beanie?
Yeah. I've probably got a little bit more than you at the moment, except for the mohawk there. Man.
Wait, don't bring that up. That's
good stuff.
Yeah,
man.
so
I'm self-conscious about my little pubic.
He's got the antlers. He's got antlers and all of his decoration.
Oh, nice, man. Oh shit, that must hurt.
It was a bit, yeah. Like up the back there, it goes around all the way around the back, and up the top there. I sat for I think it was 6 hours. And
did you cry?
Yes.
Wow, sir.
And now the world knows.
Yep.
Wow.
Thanks for that. Yep.
I actually knew the answer, so it's going live on it.
Wow, shit, that must tickle so bad right here.
Yeah, I got these like little room ones done first just to test it out because that's how brave I am. I was like, no, I'll just do like these tiny little ones, and it was fine. It like didn't hurt at all. And then I booked in the big one, and like from the get-go, it was just like intense pain, and I was like, I have to sit through, otherwise.
You kind of have to.
Well, you're done. Like I book, you book out a day or whatever, and they have like a set price for that, and you're screwed. So and I got through it, and it nearly passed out a few times towards the end. Like the room started spinning a little bit, but that's just how it is. Like, anyone who's had them knows it's shit ass, but you do it.
It's worth it though. You get a lot of girls just go like, oh, what's that?
Yeah, well, I had to compete with the pro. Everywhere we go, like I end up
Yeah.
standing awkwardly by myself, like, holding onto a pole or something, because he's like, people just come up to him and they start playing with it.
Yeah, it's a gift and a curse.
And I just sort of get forgotten about. So I was like, I've got to do something about this. Like,
I need antlers.
I was about to say, well, at least I would assume it'll probably take you a lot less time to sort of get ready after a shower,
oh,
Yeah, it actually doesn't take that long.
well, me or him?
Oh, me or him? I don't know.
Tom, there's hardly anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same as me. You literally just walk out, you air dry in like 30 seconds. Whereas
Like sometimes if I've had a rough night, it'll like be like that, and then I'll just go, just straight back, and we're good to go. So, but I had long hair up until really recently.
Yeah, in the video.
Yeah, I was about to say in the video, it
only,
looks like you had longer hair.
Yeah, I did, and I loved it, but I started thinning on the back there, and as soon as that started happening, I was kind of getting sick of it. It was COVID as well, and I was feeling a bit like batshit crazy in my house. And,
oh yeah, you had a Britney moment.
yeah, I totally did, and did a mohawk with it, and just for shits and giggles, and then did this and decided to keep it because I don't know, I'm weird or something.
So hang on. So that tattoo is that very recent then? Is that something you had after you shaved the long hair off?
Sorry.
But he always had these kind of cut. So like the long hair was all this.
Yeah, I had the typical like black metal undercut sort of situation with the long hair.
Okay.
At the back. Yeah. So I did the tats before then and stuff, and was kind of showing them off anyway. So
yep.
Yeah. Then it wasn't much of a stretch to get rid of it all. Like, and
I guess it's kind of cool, like, because when we do like youth work stuff with like the kids, it gives you like street cred.
Yeah, it's important to
build rapport
really quickly and be someone who they look at and like they go, oh yeah, I kind of want to talk to that person, I guess. So and then you just throw it in their face because they, not old enough to get tattoos. And
I was about to say,
assert your dominance.
There probably would be some sort of "don't try this at home" disclaimer when you got a sort of antler sort of tattoo on you.
I never know whether to try and talk kids out of getting tattoos or talk them into it, because I enjoy it so much and it's such a rewarding like thing. But then I'm like, oh no, I've got to remember I'm at work. I'm supposed to, be a good influence on these kids and tell them to wait until they're older or something. But
nothing wrong with having tattoos.
No, well, everyone's gone. So
yeah,
actually, I got none. Nothing.
Really?
I mean, everyone.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not a rock star then until you got tattoos.
Hey, I got my Iron Meowden t-shirt and everything.
Iron Meowden. I didn't see that until then. That is so cool, man.
I got Iron Meowden. I got Meowtalica, Master of Kittens. It's
fantastic.
It's an obsession.
It's a weird. It's getting
a bit much.
Nice, man.
The kids love it at school. They're like,
oh yeah, they would. Cats. Everyone loves cats.
Yeah. Oh, one of my favorite like sayings from one of my students, because when I'm explaining to the kids, so like do this part, I was like meow 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 meow, like, and they're like, why do you meow all the time? And then just one of the kids, I love the Gen Z kids, they're just so accepting, I love them. One of the kids was like, Freddies, they said, why do you meow the lyrics? And I was like, because I'm a cat. And then one of the kids were like, Freddy's a cat, and we accept that. And I was like, it's so sweet.
That is beautiful, man. So those shirts, is that something you've designed yourself? Because
there's a whole culture, man.
there's a heavy metal cat shirt culture. It's a thing.
It's got Meowgadeth. There's everything. There's a pun for every band. You'll be surprised.
Are you gonna get them all?
Yeah, eventually. I don't know. I don't even know if it's. How do they even do that? This should be illegal. Probably illegal. For them to do it. I mean,
if anything, there should probably be more of that stuff. Because I mean, look, there's only so much you can do with regards to merchandise, isn't there? And like stuff like that is sort of where you start to get where you don't take yourself too seriously. I love that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
bands should embrace that.
They do. Yeah, I was talking to Iron Maiden's girls, the tribute band, the
all-female. Yep.
Yeah, they were here and like we were kind of like chatting after the show, and I was like, "How does it work like copyright wise?" And they said, "We're friends." They said like we're friends with the band, and we asked them, and they're like, "It's fine if you want to use like the name with the logo and shit, but stay away from Eddie." So
fair enough.
Don't shag him.
It's Mike.
well, I suppose at the end of the day, every time they're playing, technically they would just be racking in royalties for Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're playing their songs.
Well, and also like it's not even just royalties. Like people go like to the shows and they go home. They're like, Maiden, and they just start listening to Maiden for like a week.
Yeah.
So it's just a big like.
Yep.
Win-win. People are kind of like embracing that. You kind of see like with like different tribute stuff, which we do a lot.
I was just about to say like actually one of the I know we got you guys on tonight as Diamond Sky, but you two as a couple, but you two as a pair, you play.
Don't backtrack. That's what it is.
But you're playing quite a few other bands in Perth as well, including a couple of or one tribute band, and
two
So, but one of them is a System of a Down band, and the other one is.
It's
what
a
exactly
cartoon.
is that? Cartoon?
Yeah. We'll stay away from the D word.
It's a cartoon that is 90% from like Disney stuff. So it's Disney, but not really.
Yeah.
Nice.
You say 90%, but it's probably more than
that. What's it there? Farland, isn't it?
Faraway Land.
Faraway Land. That's it.
Yeah. So like back in, so the idea kind of started. Because when I lived in Germany for 2 years, I was like a karaoke host for a living.
Really?
I have weird jobs.
You've never had a normal job.
No, like 2 months.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So and then this is kind of like big central bar in Frankfurt. Have you been to Frankfurt?
Yes, but I think I've only really been to the airport. So it doesn't count.
Oh, right.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, so right at the main station, there's like this big Irish pub, and they do like karaoke and stuff. And then, so I was there, and I was just like chilling. And then I went up there and like just sang like Ace of Spades. And I sat down, and this guy was like, "Hey man, like that was really good. Like, do you have any like advice for like how this place should be like run and stuff?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, you gotta change this. The lights should be like that. The microphones need to be changed, and this and that." I just like shat all over the way they did it. And then the guy's like, "Do you want a job?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Wicked, man.
Yeah, so I kind of became like the karaoke host, DJ, kind of like party man, singer, on like Fridays, Saturdays, and like sometimes Thursdays. So there, I mostly just know like metal songs, but also like Disney. So, but I couldn't say because it was like a mainstream. It wasn't underground. It was a big like mainstream bar. So I was like, okay, I can't be singing metal. What is it that's pop that I enjoy as well? So I was like, let me just do like Disney songs and see how it goes. And it just went off. So like then when I came here, I told the idea to Tom, and he was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, man, we got to do this."
Yeah, we went to a karaoke bar that we now like our favorite one that we always go to, and
Ferrara, shout out.
Yeah, actually, we'll shout out to Ferrara because they're fucking awesome. And like I went, Freddie's like, "You got to come here, like this place is great," and so I went in with him and I watched him do. I don't know, it was probably Can You Feel the Love Tonight or
that was
Prince Ali or something.
That was so good.
And everyone just like, they loved it. Like the response was crazy. So I'd never sung in front of, like I'd never really done it before. Always wanted to be a singer but never like had balls. So Freddie's voice is so loud that I figured out that I could start singing and like no one would hear me anyway. So I just like started doing it along with him, and we kept doing it because every time like we'd get this great response. And so eventually we went, this is like people started saying actually to us, didn't they? As well, like, you guys should like do this as a thing, and we were like, maybe we should. get sued. You know, that'd be fun. And
no, but we asked.
That's so cool.
I think we're doing it legally. We'll find out.
Yeah,
we'll see if the cease and desist letter comes or not.
We're kind of.
Well, we'll see if Disney is not cool with it. We'll cease and desist. But
I suppose if you ever got sued, you know, that probably means you'll start making good money. So it's probably a good problem to have.
It's good publicity. Hey.
Yeah, I can't wait to get sued.
Well, there was actually like in the beginning, I was like, is it whatever? But then like there was one show that we did. It was actually I did that alone because Tom had to have like surgery on his neck, and so he couldn't do the show. And I was like, what? We can't, you know, we're not the people who cancel shows. So this was at Lucy's. So then I talked to the Lucy's. I was like, hey, like the band can't perform, but it was this big kind of like 200, 300 people. I don't know, like the Lucy's Disney nights kind of like. They get like a lot of people, and then we didn't have a band like on the day of the thing because like Tom had an accident, and I told Mitch, shout out Mitch Erickson, lovely guy, who does the Lucy's nights, and I was like, man, I can do it like with just karaoke if you want. I'll just like plug my phone and just sing it without a band. And he was like, fuck it, man, let's do it. So nice. I just like went on stage and like, hey, sorry guys, we don't have a band, but I'm just gonna sing the songs anyway. So, and then there was this guy, this is what my original point. There was this guy, I've never had this before in my life, that came to me and was like, man, I hope he's all right now. Like I've had this, I've been going through like a really tough time, and I was like thinking about like suicide. But then when you sang that like "I'll Make a Man Out of You" song from Mulan, that's one of the reasons why I'm not gonna do it. I was like, holy shit! Like,
wow,
it was
that's like, heavy, man.
That's heavy. I was like, okay, I have to do this forever.
Full respect, but interesting song choice to have that epiphany.
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, it's such a like,
we all have our reasons, man. Like, that's again one of the crazy things about music. You know, like it usually has really strong memories attached to certain songs, man. We all
especially like when it comes to like Disney stuff, because there's like a lot of like childhood nostalgia.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like you often see like people just come in like they're just like crying their eyes out. And they're like, I was like, what's up? And I was like, oh man, it's taking me back to. And it's just like they're. I don't know if it's good or not, but they're just reliving some trauma from like childhood, you know. So yeah, it's quite intense. Those shows, you should come. What we do another one at Lucy's December 18th, I think.
Yeah, they're pretty fun, and the guys often, I feel like they get dragged along by their girlfriends, wives and stuff, and at first they're a bit like nervous and sitting up the back, and they're like looking like, oh, I'm too manly for this or something. Then by the end of the show, though,
they know all the words. They're all up in front,
like, singing every single word, like with their like phone torches out and stuff.
Yeah, man, those shows get wild. That's actually, I think that's from all the bands and projects I think that's the only time that we've ever gotten like flashed.
Yeah. Yep. There was a girl who like I didn't see it, unfortunately.
Yeah,
that really sucks. But she was super hot too.
Yeah, never got it. The only time we've been flashed has been in a Disney show.
Oh man,
I got in trouble for that too. Remember?
Oh yeah.
My girlfriend at the time was right in front of it. This girl was right in front of her and like flashed her boobs and I think she went up to her and had a crack at her, like, you know, had a go. And like her friend had to like sort of get in between them or something.
Really?
I didn't know that.
So she didn't like beat this girl up for showing us her tits. So
rock and roll.
It's a free world, man.
Yeah, man.
And it's a rock concert.
Well, I mean, not really.
It sort of is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know. It's good songs, man. The Disney songs, like the ones like. So
fantastic songs.
Oh man, because it's fucking hard to like from the stuff from the bands we do. That's for you at least. That's definitely the hardest shit.
Yeah. Like it sounds pretty easy and really like.
Yeah, it doesn't sound easy. It sounds fucking.
Yeah, it's hard to do. Instrumentally, it's really tricky. Yeah.
So how are you guys doing it? Like, have you got a full band or are you using backing tracks?
Well, here's the thing. We're a at the moment we're a 3-piece. Well, actually, no, we got another member. So we were doing it with like, I don't know, 60% of the songs with backing tracks along with us.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing. It's just there's so many layers to it that
there's no
way to do it really without it.
Yeah, but then at some point we were like, man, this just feels so wrong, backing tracks, because like there's always, you're kind of a slave to the backing track, you know, when you use backing tracks, you know, like it's such a shit feeling.
Yeah, it feels awkward.
It's horrible. Yeah. Like, but the thing is, like, if it's a good show, you kind of forget about it. Like the Lucy's shows that they really go off.
Yeah.
You kind of like, oh, fuck it, whatever, backing track. There's like, people are going insane. But like normal shows, when you do like, I don't know, kids shows, like city council stuff, you know?
Yeah, the outdoor stuff really feels really...
Yeah, because there's no screaming, shouting audience to kind of fill the awkwardness of, you know? And then you kind of see like, oh, this is not fun. So then we just went like, hey, let's look at the tracks and see how many members do we need so we can get rid of backing tracks altogether.
And we think it's 5. We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're trying. Yeah, we're trying.
So we got the 4th member, and we're auditioning the 5th member right now. So it's going to be soon without any backing tracks, all live.
And maybe an orchestra eventually.
that's when we get to.
Yeah, true.
But I suppose there'll be quite a bit of sort of keyboards and stuff with all the different like symphonic orchestra.
It's going to be 3 keyboardists in the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other 3 keyboardists meant.
No, there's not a lot. No, I don't know any either. They probably exist. I don't know what kind of genres, but not generally not metal, the stuff we do.
No. Well, there's not a lot of... Actually, even in the metal bands that have keyboards, I never feel like they really use it right, you know? It's never like a prominent instrument. Very rarely, you know?
What about Rammstein? I reckon that's fantastic.
Yeah,
how they get it out, man.
Yeah. Oh, they do it well. But that's kind of like industrial. I guess like I'm talking more like in the power metal bands, you know?
It is and it isn't. Like I reckon they've sort of tweaked their sound quite a bit from when they first came out. Like the first 2 or 3 albums, or especially the first 2 albums, were probably like very industrial. But I reckon like pretty much any album ever since, there has been, you know, some more commercial stuff and, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, that was Rammstein was the first concert I've been to. They just set the bar so fucking high.
It's very hard to sort of exceed that.
It was in Turkey.
So when you grew your afro that day, didn't you?
Instantly over like.
I did it, from the same. No, it was actually like this was back when I lived in Iran, and so like heavy metal is like illegal pretty much in Iran. So like no bands come. Yeah, there's no bands that come to Iran and.
Well, there was one recently, wasn't there, that had to...
they had to escape, yeah. Well, those are the local bands. And just doing metal music, there's like 15... For these people, the RSMS band, they gave them like 15 years. And they escaped recently, so that's good.
15 years prison?
Prison for doing metal.
You're kidding?
Yeah, man, it's fucking... They're nuts.
Dude, you've got to tell me more about this. That is...
Oh, man.
It's pretty much why you're here, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's why I left. Because, like, I wanted to do music, and I was like, I can't do it here. And it's... Shit,
dude. That is that's crazy. Tell me more about that.
Well, it's... basically... I wanted to do, like, metal music, but it's always, like... It always comes with this, like... You know, the same kind of bullshit that existed like in the 80s, like, oh, satanic this, satanic that, you know?
Stupid stigmas, man.
Yeah, but that's still a thing. That's not a, you know, that's still well alive in the Middle East, you know? Like in Saudi Arabia, they have like capital punishment for like sorcery, you know? So like they still they still like capture witches and like, you know, like, it just seems such a medieval thing. But in the Middle East,
I thought all the witches were extinct.
No, in Saudi Arabia, there's capital punishment for witchcraft.
But there are witches?
Well, they're not. They're people that the government things are
they are
witches.
trying. They're trying to catch someone and call them witches.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you'd like talk back to your husband. Witchcraft. You fucking witch.
So what? So you wanted to play heavy metal, and because there is up to 15 years imprisonment in Iran, you were like, "Fuck that! I'm out of here."
Yeah, well, it wasn't just like if I was into Justin Bieber, I would still leave the place, you know. So like,
right, okay.
Yeah, it's
so
like
you'd be in America.
Yeah,
Going to all these concerts.
Yeah, but like, so I was born in Iran. Then I went to Canada for 6 years, from like 1 to 6, and then we moved back to Iran, and then I was in Iran from 6 to 22. And then I left when I was 22. So since the moment I was in Iran, I was just like, I have to get out of here. Like since the moment we came from Canada, I was like, I can't live like this. So yeah, I never actually really accepted the fact that this is my home. I was like, no, this is just a really long nightmare that I have to kind of live out until I could finally reunite with my fellow, Westerners. Because like in my head, I was always like, no, I'm a Canadian guy who's just stuck here.
But then again, so talking about Canada, so you said you moved to Germany for 2 years.
Yeah, so like then I was 22.
And you're in Perth now. So like what happened in between?
What?
What?
Yeah, so this is my 4th continent, but this is the final one. This is where I'm going to die. This is the plan.
But not yet.
Yeah. Tell me about the thing that happened last week. Was it last week? Citizenship?
Oh, yeah. Citizen. I'm a citizen now.
Finally.
Got it. Finally.
Well done, man. Congrats.
Yeah, I've been here, well, technically 5 years, because I came here, then I went back to Germany, then I came back. So, yeah, after 4 or 5 years,
well
finally...
done.
Australia, mate.
They aren't getting rid of you now. I'm the same. Yeah, I got my citizenship on Australia Day this year as well.
Did you shotgun a beer?
Okay, while you're talking about that, I'm going to go to the toilet.
No, so Australia. the thing is, and I wouldn't say I cover a lot of shit, but a lot of people saying, oh yeah, we got to buy you a beer if you come to our show and stuff. So I haven't been drinking for nearly 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So
that's fair enough. You got to shotgun something though, like a Coke or something.
I'm sitting here with like a little peppermint tea, but I know that's not very rock and roll, man. But
so I got tea as well.
Yeah, of course.
But it seems like I'm trying to get Freddie to shotgun a beer as well, because it's just, I don't know, it just feels right.
It is, yeah. Look, had you asked me when I got my permanent residency, I would have shotgunned everything.
Like you could have sort of taken one for the team. It's only one, and it's just to show that you respect the culture and everything like that.
That's not how my brain works, man. It's like if I break the streak, I'm probably gonna go all in again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I gotta respect that, I guess.
But look,
I'm not gonna mess with that.
Everybody, including my wife, keeps saying, "Are you gonna have a drink with me tonight? Are you gonna have a drink one day?" I said, "Yeah, probably one day I will." But
you're just like one day you'll just stand up and you'll have a can of Emu Export in your hand, and you like
sometime when that day happens,
like that.
That is, I'll be going to a This Is Spotgun concert and sort of.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a good show.
Catch up.
You were I saw you there.
Yeah.
Man, there's some good bands. Hey, Amber Down.
Yeah, Amber Down. Yeah, they keep Electric State. Yeah.
It's all bands. Fucking.
It was a good night.
Killing it. I'm gonna go now.
Yeah,
it's a good show.
So it was really good. So what was I trying to say with the Iran stuff?
So that's why. Yeah, you're talking about Canada, Germany, moving back and forth.
Yes, Iran, Canada, back to Iran, Germany, now here. But like the Germany thing was I only went there because so. In order to get like full points from my age, how did you get like your permanent residency here?
Me and my wife were in a relationship, de facto. So we've been together for over a year by then.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah. No, so I did it through skilled immigration because I'm like an engineer by trade.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just did it to get out of Iran. I don't, you know, they want us. They want engineers. They don't want heavy metal singers. You know, like,
it's a very different reason.
There's no in the skilled list of fucking the immigration website. There's no like power metal like falsetto screamer.
Iron me out.
Iron me out. So but in order to get full points from age, I had to be 25. So I could reach the threshold of becoming
that's right.
So and I was 23, and I was like, I'm not doing another 2 years in Iran. I have to get out of here. So I applied for a master's in Germany, and I didn't do it. I just went to the university, and and they just gave me a 2-year visa. And I was like, that's it. They just gave me 2 years. So they're like, yeah. I was like, bye. I wasn't even living in the same city as the university.
Because you were a karaoke host.
Yeah, boy, moved to Frankfurt.
Where else did you go in Germany? It's such a wicked country, man.
It's so cool. Yeah. First before that, I did 2 months internship in like working in the lab stuff in Bremen, and then the university was in Freiburg, so I was there a little bit, and then I moved to Frankfurt. So yeah, Bremen, Frankfurt, and Freiburg. Have you been to any of these? Except for
I've been to quite a few of the cities. I've been to Hamburg quite a few times. There's so many metal geeks, and that's sort of fairly easy driving distance to from where I used to live. It takes about 3.5 hours or something.
Oh right,
And Berlin again, beautiful city. It takes about I think 6-7 hours to drive to from my old hometown.
I love the place.
And then
it's kind of crazy how like in Europe, because like I almost think it's actually not really good for like the local scene there, you know, because like when you're not going to go watch. Well, I mean, in Germany they didn't, at least as far as I was concerned. You want to go watch like a show headlined by a local band where there's like fucking Amorphous playing 1 week and Opeth playing the next week, and you know, like In Flames playing the next. There's always something amazing fucking happening.
Yeah.
You know, but I actually prefer it here. You know, I would rather have those big bands come like every 2 months and then just enjoy like the local scene. It's just way more intimate and nice.
Yep.
You know, like I don't miss those influx of fucking amazing bands in Europe whatsoever. Like I'd much rather just, you know, chill with my friends, you know.
I guess the only downside is you don't, like, some of them you never get at all, because like some of the
you get enough.
You get enough, but there's like ones that you wish that you could go and see that you could over there that you can't. Yeah, you know, because they're not big enough or don't have the money. Or,
true.
Like, so, you know, that's the only, I think maybe the only downside.
Yeah.
As a fan.
Yeah, but it's worth the trade-off for me, because the Perth scene is so tight. Hey, this is not how it is in Germany. Like, there's nothing like this. I hear from like bands from over east that it's not even like this over east.
Right.
They say like the Perth scene is like really fucking. It's really tight. Like we got fucking, you know, all these pages and stuff. Like we got like, you know, we got our Danish Joe Rogan and fucking. It's just this. This is just like a self-sufficient little Freemason kind of scene, you know. It's brilliant. I fucking love it.
Yeah, but look, I must admit as well. Like since I started doing that, and like a lot of the bands I've been exposed to would have been bands I would probably never have come across otherwise. And you're right. Like the quality is phenomenal, man.
Also the quality of people, like they're just like,
really nice people, man.
Yeah, very few people I have. I don't have anyone blocked. You know, they're all
currently.
They're very nice people.
It can be like, I don't know, it can be a bit cliquey and bitchy sometimes, but then when you see those people out, you still vibe with them and you go and have a drink with them and stuff, and there's no serious. Man,
I was when I first moved to Perth from Germany, I was like, before I discovered like the metal scene and like, you know, Joe's Juice joint and stuff, I was hating the shit out of the place. I was like, oh my god, this is so
out of Perth.
Yeah, I was like, this is so corporate and happy, and everyone looks so pretty, and I was hating it. Like, I was like, I need some edge, man. I need some, And then I'm like, when I got into the metal scene, I was like, yeah, home. That's when I felt home. I wanted to go back to Germany. I was like, no, I can't do this. This is too sunny.
So what made you decide on Perth?
It's a long one. I wanted to go Melbourne, but then my dad has kind of like a little branch of his business here. He doesn't live here, but it's there. So originally I kind of wanted to like run that. So I moved here. But that didn't come to fruition. But then I was just so in love with the place anyway, so I didn't, think about leaving. And I've been to Melbourne, so I love Perth much more. Fucking lovely place. Love it.
Yeah, it's a very special place. It's funny how like the beaches here are just pretty much shit all over everything on the East Coast.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I grew up on the beach as well, down in Bustleton, a coastal town down south, and like stone's throw from the beach. So I was basically there every day, and still love it. It's ridiculous. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, it's really insane. It's got a good salaries are good, taxes are low. You're Danish,
taxes in Denmark are ridiculous.
It's just Europe. Like the income tax is it's brutal. It's just.
They do good stuff with it, though, don't they? Is that the
trade-off? That is a trade-off, but you kind of have all those stuff here. You have like Medicare. You have. Yeah. I honestly like politically. I actually prefer the system of like the government loans that they have here over just free college for everyone. Because like there's a lot of people who just like in Europe that they just go to uni and never use their degree. This kind of the fact that you kind of have to pay it back at some point. I guess it's a good deterrent for like studying bullshit degrees, that you're not going to use.
You kind of have to do that a little bit in Denmark too. It comes down.
You have to pay back.
Yeah, well, again, it's free. So as you said, it is free. Yeah. But most people still take up a loan on the side just because because you can, and also because it's nice to have a little bit of extra money.
Well, I just think it's getting political. I just think it's a bit in general. Like I'm completely like politically like progressive. Like I'm all about Bernie and all that shit. Like universal basic income and everything. But like I actually think like taxes on like free college is kind of like it's a bit elitist. Because like people who are smart enough to graduate college already have like kind of an IQ advantage, and now you're kind of giving it even more advantage. So it's actually a bit unfair for people who are not, who are like tradesmen, So I like politically the system in Australia is just perfect for me. It's not too left like like some of the countries in Europe, and it's not like crazy right wing like America. America's crazy. Just watching it.
America, yeah. Let's not start there because
this is the part of the podcast where Tom gets drunk, and switches off.
This is the part of the podcast where I start drinking. So.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a whole different podcast.
Not my room.
Yeah. Let's try and take it back to Perth, and I'd love to hear a little bit about you guys. Like, how did you guys meet in the local music?
Joe's. Yeah, Joe's.
Do you know Joe's?
Have you been? Joe's Restaurant?
No, I don't think so.
Oh man, dude.
It's the only place you can go regularly where they play like
heavy music,
heavy and half decent music. Not just heavy, it's like classic old stuff as well.
It's good stuff. Yeah, and it gets super heavy after like 2, 3.
Yeah, depending on the DJ, sometimes they'll play a lot of heavy metal.
Yeah,
I can probably let you know. Like, look, as you guys would know, sort of before we went live again. Like I told you how I've got 3 little boys. I don't go out much. So look, for the last probably close to 7 years, I've been a family guy. So
Well, they're gonna grow up, and then we'll see.
Exactly. But
yeah, I mean,
back to the story anyway.
That's 15 to 20 years away. We'll still be there.
Yeah.
I'll have even less hair. Freddie will probably have even more.
I'll have less.
And more
this
tattoos.
is an illusion, man. I'm going bald.
Yeah. And we'll probably still be doing the same thing.
Yeah. No,
Hopefully.
it was actually the
Okay,
ex-guitarist of Diamond Sky, our friend Dan. We he used to be the DJ at that bar, and I kind of became friends with him. And then the day after, I kind of met Tom, and we're just like instant besties, bro.
Yeah, we bonded over Amorphous, I think it was.
Yeah, no, we bonded over like because I was thinking like my ex, me and my ex were here, and then we were just talking to you and stuff, and I was like, I think you asked me like, oh, what bands do you like? And I was like, oh yeah, I love Amorphous, you know.
And then we made out.
Yeah,
Girlfriend wasn't pleased.
nah, but he, oh my god, it's Freudian.
Nice.
But then he was just agreeing with everything I was saying in terms of like, you know, Amorphous rules and like, you know,
Ghost
Ghost is the,
conversation gonna end.
Ghost is great and like Stradivarius and stuff. And I was like, bitch, have your own opinion. Stop faking like you like every band. But when we talked about songs, like, oh my god, this guy likes exactly the same bands that I like. This is crazy.
Meant to be.
Yeah. So like we just started like doing like all these different projects and
what was it? The first thing we ever played was at my birthday, I think.
oh yeah.
We hadn't started anything, hadn't even said we're gonna do a band together or something. And then
we had like Ghosts and Amorphous and
I had a birthday coming up.
Alice Cooper, Iron Maiden.
I was like, let's do something like with Dan, you know, the guy I was just talking about before, and Ken, my Japanese roommate, who's since moved away.
Who was also in the band as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
And so we're like, let's just get together and do like this gig at my friend's house, just for fun.
Yeah.
And we did that, and then I think it all sort of birthed from there, didn't it?
Yeah, because like, so a lot of like the most of the Diamond Sky stuff is stuff that I written back in Iran because I couldn't release it. So like, so I started like writing music when I was 16, and then, but like I knew like I can't get anything done in Iran because, well, first of all, it's illegal, and second of all, even if I wanted to like water it down to a level for it to be able to be done legal, I had to like make it less heavy. I had to get rid of like the topics of politics and sex and, you know, rock, you know. I had to become a completely different person to be able to do music in Iran. So I was like, no, fuck it, I'll just write shit until I can, you know, go out and have a chance to record it.
Well, so sorry to interrupt. How do they decipher what is too heavy and what's not? Like where's the line?
Yeah, there's a ministry. What's it called? It's like a ministry of morality. That so fuck, man. That you have to kind of like present your stuff, and they decide if you can publish it or not. And
oh wow,
nothing heavy metal would pass. There's some instrumental stuff, but it just comes with so much like bribing and so much.
There's a kind of like the classification system here for like, you know, for like movies, TV shows, lyrics, and
except like, one classification is like you can't do it. You know, like it's just.
So what would be so what would be the heaviest stuff that you can either hear on the radio or that would be allowed to say if a band were to come to Iran and play?
We can't.
You can't.
No.
Any contemporary rock or pop or
there's some really local ones, but in terms of international bands coming to Iran, I don't think any international band has actually come to Iran after the revolution, because 79, that's when shit, you know, kind of, because we had bands, I don't know which ones, but like like 70s band used to go to Iran. Like Iran was a completely different country before the Islamic Revolution. So it was actually in some ways like more progressive actually. Like I'm pretty sure we had legal prostitution. in the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, legal prostitution. We had like fucking porn and cinema and stuff. Like it was like Holland.
That sounds like Europe.
yeah. Well, that was and it was. I don't think the country was ready for that, and the monarch back then was really trying to kind of make the country westernized, and there was like pushback from a lot of the religious people that back then were like the vast majority of the country. But I mean, it's way less now. Like I see some polls, and I'm like, wow, Iran's changing.
Wow.
It's crazy place. So yeah, that was never an option. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna write stuff, and that's good because like now we have like all materials ready. The only reason why this whole thing has been taking a lot of time is there's been like a lot of like members coming in and out, and we kind of did get a bit distracted, I guess, with all the fun cover stuff. And we kind of did want to make a bit of a living from like the cover bands and like teaching in different schools and stuff. So but now that that's kind of settled and we kind of know our place in life in terms of like musicians, that we're musicians and this is what we are.
Yep.
We're kind of like ramping up the speed in Diamond Sky, and we're going to be releasing our first single with the video soon. So we've done the video shooting, and we're just in editing and mastering in that phase right now.
Fantastic. I'd love to hear a bit more about that.
Yeah, so right now, everyone who's watching, just like our page, Diamond Sky. So when the single comes, it's going to be glorious.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. We got because like we actually still haven't since we parted ways with our ex-guitarist. Right now, Cam from Silent Night is filling in as a favor. Well, I mean, we're paying him, but as a paid favor. But yeah, so like at that point, I was like, man, fuck this shit. I'm gonna get the best guitarist in the city, and like I'll pay him till we find till we find someone who's good enough, like not settling for anything. And man, that guy, he's ridiculous.
Lovely guy too.
Yeah, if I could play, do you know Silent Night, the band?
No, I don't. I don't. I get introduced to so many band names, and it's all hard to.
They're beasts. They're this local power metal band that they. Pretty sure they open for like Dragon Force, and like if that's the go-to power metal band. Like any power metal band that comes here, they're the ones that are opening for them.
Shooing as the opener.
Yeah, and man, like their lead guitarist Cam, he's just so good. Like he can play, Michelangelo, the guitarist, with all the like the shredding and stuff
from Nitro.
Yeah, from Nitro, and like. Yeah, he could play all that stuff, like like Malmsteen level shit. I'm pretty sure, like when you say like who's the shredder in Perth, everyone's like, Cam.
I'm going to be sitting back there going, fuck, I can't actually play that.
No, I saw him play it. So he's filling in, and we did like a music video shoot together. Man, if I could play guitar like that guy, I would be so cocky. I would be like fucking. Kicking peasants and cursing at old ladies and it's like,
you can't play guitar and you're already
no, if I had his level of guitar playing.
So what is it not an option for him to join the band, or are you just happy to keep him as a...
No, he's got cold.
We did ask.
Yeah, no. Well, sorry, Stu, because Stu's gonna kill me if he finds out I ask. But no, I took a long shot because
he knows everyone wants the guy.
Yeah. He's like he's like the equivalent of like a really hot girlfriend, but like guitar wise.
He's a band. He's a hot band member.
Everyone wants to date. Yeah. And everyone's in the inbox.
No, well, he does Cold Fate, and he does Silent Night, and he has a full-time job. And he has a girlfriend, lovely person. So like, he's got no time. The fact that he's even doing this for us is just I'm just so blessed. But yeah, he likes the music, and it just works. So we're going to be doing the album with him, regardless of if we find the guitarist before that or after.
Cool. That's going to be my next question, sort of to see if there was any follow up to the single. So if you guys are planning doing a full length?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
We'll do two singles. We'll do 2 singles, and then we'll just go album because fuck EPs.
It's such a funny conversation, man, because especially this day and age with the Spotify and streaming and what have you not, it's such a hit and miss to talk to people and see which bit that they prefer. Should you do 5 singles, or should you do an EP, and should you do an album?
Well, like my opinion is, we're gonna have a bit of clash about this, but my opinion is EPs kind of get buried in the band's legacy. You never talk about like Metallica's EP. You never talk about like. It's always, even if it's not going to get like, you kind of want, like I think it's fine when someone's like, I don't know how it is, let's see the reaction, blah, blah. But if you have like songs that you really believe in and you think like, these are fucking hits, these have like, these are my babies and all that stuff. I think right now it's better to just go with an album and then just hammer on every song as if, like do a video, do a guitar walk through, do a behind the scenes, because you just need to build that engagement, which we've been, again, because we've been busy with all this other stuff so far, but now this is a move. Right now we're just focusing most of the stuff on Diamond Sky and less mucking around with fun tribute stuff. As fun as they are.
So what's the plan like for the future? So obviously you're gonna record and release an album. Is the intention to sort of try and get Diamond Sky off the ground?
Oh yeah,
we need a guitarist. That's like probably the major focus for us at the moment. Like we've arranged for the single and everything in the album. Cam's helping us out, which is awesome. But we really do need like a full lineup and so that we can, really gel together and move forward. Yeah. So that's, and that this might be like, a helpful platform for that as well. If anyone out there knows anyone that might be interested.
Yeah.
Then
we had a bit.
Get in touch with us.
Yeah, we had a bit of some few unsuccessful attempts, mostly because of like people being. One mistake that we did, we kind of went with like. Our dear friend Tom from Earth Rock, he used to be in the band for a while, and that was kind of hard to work out because Earth Rock's a pretty active band, and they before COVID they did tours all the time, and they opened for like Dimo Borgir and over east and stuff. Yeah, they do pretty well.
Yeah,
great band.
And he was keen, like
he loved it. Yeah, he still loves it, but like it just couldn't work because. You never have the time to rehearse. So I guess we kind of, one mistake was just going with people that, that like we're friends with, rather than people who have a lot, time,
But it's a fine line, isn't it? Because at the same time, like even if you could get, the best guitarist is in town. What if? But if you couldn't sort of clash with him, like if you can't hang out and
well, we didn't have that problem with either with any of the members. It's mostly been like a matter of like time and stuff. And Tom's had his own kind of like because Tom plays in a black metal band as well, Advent Sorrow. Like it's not much happening right now, but there were periods that he was pretty busy doing like the keyboards and that and stuff. So it's been a bit of a ride, but now I think we're kind of like in full gear, and now like officially we've kind of just started.
Yeah, well that was taking up basically like I've been in that band for 11 years, and it had gotten to the point where we did a headlining European tour, like UK tour last year, and played festivals in Munich and London and Finland, near Helsinki. And so that was my focus up until that point.
You did like open for like Behemoth and stuff here.
Yeah, we did lots of
tour with Marduk and stuff.
We had lots of supports here, for some pretty big bands, and so we were doing quite well, like, and things were looking like they were going to take off, and then some unfortunate stuff happened, and I can't really talk too much about it because there's legal shit involved.
Oh wow.
But that's sort of now on the back burner, and that's freed me up to do more Diamond Sky stuff. So it's time to sort of hit the ground running and really charge at it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's easier now because like the other tribute stuff, which is it helps with the income and stuff. Those are all settled, and like they're there's not much effort. You just like wait for like venues to ring up, and we'll just do shows. Like with the system and stuff like that. So. Yeah, it's just now it's time. It's just time.
Yeah, it's just people's the hardest thing. People like the human problems are always the hardest ones, like the time and the like relationships and the getting along and coordinating everything's once you sort that out, like it's go time.
Sky's the limit. The time in the sky is the limit.
But so what can you do, sort of, in regards to try and make a bit of money on playing originals? Have you got anything lined up there? Social media, content creation, or sponsorships, anything?
Yeah, no. Well, we kind of. There's not much point to be selling a demo. You know what I mean? So you kind of need like a really good product and then start doing that. So we kind of been just having the social media hasn't been really active. It's just been there so like venues can contact us if they want like shows. So we haven't been putting any energy into that until there is like an actual product that we can sell.
Yep.
But Tom has more experience on that ground.
Yeah, I guess what as a lot of bands experience, you end up sort of being a bit of a clothing store, like that seems to be one of the the best sources of income for smaller bands these days is that you sort your merch out and that sort of like subsidizes you a bit and helps you pay for stuff. You do your local shows, that brings a bit of cash in. You do your merch. Eventually you get on Bandcamp and everything, get your streams and stuff happening. But as everyone knows, streams are that still doesn't really do us much justice. And the CEOs, Spotify's seems like he's been under a bit of criticism recently for that whole thing. But I don't know. Like I hear that they're not even posting a profit the last couple of years and stuff. So it's really hard to know exactly how it all works. It just feels like you're pushing shit uphill like a little bit, So. But I think you got to focus more on an international market nowadays as well, because that's how everything's geared with social media nowadays. And there's people, especially our style of music. I don't know. I guess we're sort of like power metal-ish, and that's not quite as big here as it is in maybe some of the Scandinavian countries in Europe.
Europe in general, I'd say,
So we'll probably be looking to push our stuff a little bit more over there, and aim over there, because there's just, I don't know, it's like it's mostly death metal here, I guess.
For some stuff that are kind of like household names amongst metalheads here. It's just it's great. Like the fact that like for example, like in Perth, Cattle Decapitation is just like 10 times bigger than like Halloween, If you tell that to a German guy, they'll be like, what? That's insane. That's nuts, But,
and you don't really get them coming here, do you?
No, I think they came like once and they like barely filled out.
Like the power metal.
Not Capital, the other one.
Not what? Amps? No?
Capital, yeah.
Capital was Capital.
Yeah, but like, it's an interesting like very death metal focused.
Yeah, so audience. It might be a little bit hard to come up in a place like this.
Yeah, well, the good thing is like the genre that we play is kind of
It's not purely.
Yeah, it's right on the edge of like kind of like hard rock and metal. So like we can kind of we have been doing kind of both like rock shows and metal shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that's a good part of it, I guess. Like,
Yeah, we don't want to pigeonhole ourselves too much because
No.
I don't think we're like
not really metal.
pigeonhole people. Either.
Yeah, no.
We don't fit into, we played in Disney band.
Yeah,
yeah. I played in a black metal band and with like.
Yeah, two metal for the rock lineups and two
rock
rock
for the metal.
And, yeah, so I don't mind. So a lot of our favorite bands are like that.
Well, it definitely sounds like there would be some more potential overseas for sure.
Yeah.
And again, and I suppose now is not a bad timing either, because again, with pretty much the rest of the world sort of shut down for live music and stuff. If you're sort of planning on doing a full length over the next, I don't know, have you got a certain time frame in mind for when you're gonna try and record the album?
In the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So like the bar's set pretty low at this point. Things have been going like a little bit,
Yeah. No. Well, but seriously.
We're really picking up.
Yeah, we'll this year, because there's not much touring and stuff. We're just focusing. Yeah, we'll be focusing on the album.
Yeah.
And one idea that we kind of have that we're gonna try, well, especially because we did like shoot the video and it was really fun, is to like do a lot of videos. I think that's the future, because like it's really hard to. I think. Tracks really don't go viral, but like videos do, So
absolutely.
like even if there's like a really simple video of you just playing, I think it's better than not having anything and just So like, yeah, if we have extra time in this one more year of like no international opportunities or anything, like it's just good to like focus on like recording videos. I think that's a good idea. So we did one, and it's actually quite funny. It's really fun video. So,
but that could also be quite costly though. So again, depending on depending on the level of production and stuff you put into it. Like because I was like I've been talking to you sort of on and off for the last couple of weeks in regards to the details for tonight and stuff. And I remember a couple of times you said that you guys were out shooting for the video and multiple locations and stuff. It's like, wow, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort and stuff that goes into it.
Yeah, well, we're lucky because our drummer is like a filming student, and so is dad and his brother as well. So so we have like kind of like a team that just is shooting up, like being very nice and shooting it all for free. So I guess that saves a lot of costs there. But like, I don't think it doesn't need to be like a really expensive.
Yeah, lots of people doing like lyric videos and
Well, even if when you look at like all this, like a lot of these big bands, like Judas Priest, they released like a really shit, like not expensive. It's just them playing. It's not shit. It's just them playing. There's no big budget, and it's just something. Because like we live in a very visual world.
Yep.
It's not. We're not living in the radio days anymore. Like we're. Every kind of stimulation that people get is always with like like the video as well. So I just think like the music world has to kind of adapt in a way, especially with like social media and stuff, because everyone's just like
for sure.
It's not enough. Like audio is just not enough anymore.
You mentioned yourself earlier as well in regards to like doing like playthrough videos behind the scenes and all the extra stuff. Like if like I've mentioned this on a couple of the other episodes as well, but I'm very much a YouTube geek myself. Like if I hear a new band, like usually the first thing I do is I check how many songs have they got on Apple Music or Spotify, because I usually I want to hear more, and by the time I find out that they've got some stuff there, then the next thing is I go in and check YouTube. I want to go see if they have some videos, because I want to see, first of all, I want to see what these guys look like, and I want to see if they have some lyric videos, because I actually really enjoy reading the lyrics, and very rarely can you actually get lyrics these days, because you don't get a cover, you don't get an album cover anymore.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's like there's a bunch of people have posted them, and they're and there's like conflicting ones, and you don't know which one's
Yeah.
the right one or something. They're just like misheard lyrics or something.
Misheard lyrics. I wish you get another hilarious thing.
Yeah.
Master apprentice. That was so video.
So you're right. It's so easy actually to create that part of the content. You know, to do lyric videos, playthroughs, and all that stuff. And again, I'm a drummer myself. You know, if you sit down and you watch a couple of drum playthroughs and stuff, like I can get completely enthralled in that and just go down the rabbit hole. And 2 hours
here's
later,
the thing. Like, I think you could kind of like steal. I think a lot of views are being stolen away from you when you don't do those stuff yourself.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Because then someone else is doing like a drum cover of that, you know, and then they're getting, you know, all of it. You might as well just do it yourself, you know? So, I guess that's one way that you can kind of like.
There's also the option of actually, you know, either doing like a podcast or doing like just a small once a week or once every time you rehearse and stuff, like just do a little clip where you guys are just talking to the fans, or maybe if you do just a short little documentary clip for your own sake. Oh, we're here today, we're shooting a little video. It's gonna be really fun, blah blah blah.
You gotta sell your personality and stuff, and it's just so important to like getting gigs and stuff. Well, because like, you know, like I'm talking mostly about like I guess in my experience would be like more of like the cover stuff. So like I posted like a lot of like videos and stuff on, you know, Facebook of just like me singing or, you know, stuff like that, and then you just instantly just get like. A lot of the time you just instantly get hit up by promoters because they're your Facebook friends. They're like, oh yeah, that guy, you know, let's see. So it's just important to be selling like your personality as well. It's not just like the music it's just not enough anymore. You know, it's like, and even if you look at like the pop scene, it just seems that like, they're selling attitude more than the music. Like the music, a lot of these, you know, pop icons, the music is just horrible. You know, they're just really selling that person. You know, like, you know, Cardi B or, you know, like, you know, all these people. Like there's I don't even think their fans think it's good music. You know, it's just like they're just selling an attitude. You know, and that's the way.
I don't think their fans are good people.
But that's but again, like personality and
listening to a lot of Ben Shapiro.
I reckon you're right on the fact that the personality is important. So personality and a good story in general is something. If you can get people enticed into something again where they need to see what's next, or if they connect with you in one way or the other. I reckon it'll be a lot easier to sort of sustain a good fan or someone who will check you out for longer and be more loyal.
Like,
and your story is pretty good. Like,
exactly. Yeah, that's an amazing story. Yep.
Yeah, on paper you're like really.
But in real life, you're fucking shit.
No, but as you know, as everyone knows, you're quite loud in real life as well.
But you're absolutely right. Like, and like your story coming from a country, you know, where it's illegal to play heavy metal, and you're a heavy metal singer.
Yes, well, I mean that's the least of people's problems there, man. Like, there's capital punishment. If they catch you 3 times with alcohol, they'll kill you. You know, like.
But can you buy alcohol?
You buy it like people buy weed here. You know.
Right.
It's illegal. So like we got like alcohol dealers, pretty much. But it's, you know, it's still, you know, and if they catch you once, they could like whip you like 70 times.
Shit.
What else? Yeah, man, it's a crazy place. What else?
Sounds like Game of Thrones, man.
Shooting up alcohol, smoking it in a bomb.
Far out.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like there's some capital punishment for atheism, capital punishment for leaving the religion, capital punishment for homosexuality. So like all these are on paper. It's like there's like death penalty for it, but a lot of this stuff is people just get out of it by just like bribing the cops because it's a very corrupt country and it's a really corrupt system. So it rarely happens where, you know, like, because like there's a lot of atheists in the country. Like it's probably the most irreligious Islamic country because like Islam was never really, like historically was never like the religion of the land.
Right.
So there's always been this kind of like anti-Arab, anti-like Islamic kind of vibe within like the Persians. But yeah, like it rarely happens where like you see people like executed for being like an atheist, but it's mostly because people just bribe cops, you know, and like when they catch, when they get caught with alcohol, they just bribe cops, you know. When you get caught with your girlfriend, which is also illegal, having a girlfriend.
What?
Man, you what? Dude, it's, yeah, you can't, like, if they'll ask you, like,
So
if
you have to go straight from not knowing a girl to
marriage, yeah.
wifing her.
Yeah, no, like,
Really?
I've been pulled over with my girlfriend back in Iran, and they almost took us away until we just convinced them not to. Man, it's a nightmare.
Wow.
Even if you're, like, you know, potentially not having sex or anything, like if you're just like hanging out.
Yeah, just holding hands, illegal. Yeah.
That is wow.
Didn't know that.
What about stuff like Facebook and YouTube and social media? Is that
all filtered? They're all filtered by the government.
Right.
But people just use VPNs. So like the thing is, like, all this stuff, like a miniature version of the West kind of exists in the underground of Iran, you know? Like we don't have like the 10,000 people Iron Maiden shows, but we have, you know, people like us back in Iran playing in the basements and then, you know, having the money ready for when the cops come to, you know, bribe them off.
Wow.
There's all the band's merch money.
So like social media, yeah, but like people just use VPNs. Parties, yeah, but like it's not, you don't make you may just make it secret, you know, fucking messages instead of like a Facebook post. It's just a very secretive kind of society. Like it's just like there's this underground that exists, but that underground is like 50% of the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everyone's an outlaw. You know what I mean? Because everyone's got something. Everyone's got something that the government could kill them for. You're either an atheist, or like you're having fucking, you know, some kind of sex that the government is gonna kill you for it, or like like everyone and no one, like, well, at least in the alternative, like 50%, no one, like, it's just like this trust thing. Like no matter. Like even if someone like kills your brother, you don't go ratting him out to the government. It's just you handle it between yourselves. It's just really, yeah. It's fucking bizarro world, man. It's a crazy place. Yeah.
And that's so crazy though when you said that, you know, back in the 70s where you said like porn was legal and all that stuff, man.
In the cinema, yeah, they got. It's just.
Imagine going between the two. Like,
yeah,
you know,
I was about to say, what happened in between?
Well, yeah, it's a lot of. Well, I think they pushed it a bit too hard because, like, as fucked up as it sounds, a lot of places aren't ready for democracy. You know, like. But that's what happened. That's what happened with.
All right, if we're heading into that territory, pour another drink.
Because like a lot of places, because that's what kind of happened. Like after the revolution, they asked people. They just used democracy against it.
Yeah.
Against itself. So they're like, do you want democracy or not? And everyone's like, no. You know what I mean? So they just used democracy to just convince people it's a dictatorship. And like. Yeah, it's just
that's so
crazy.
bizarre. It's. I mean, I get, you know, like coming like in a Muslim country, like I've been to Dubai a couple of times and, you know, traveled.
It's different, man. It's different. It's not Dubai. It's no Dubai, man. Everyone has to wear a fucking a hijab and like. Yeah. It's not. It's well, actually, right now, like it used to be. We always said like, oh, Saudi Arabia is worse. But now with the new prince in Saudi Arabia, it's literally the most oppressive country in the world. Well, after North Korea. Like the only thing the Iranians can tell themselves is like, oh well, at least we're not North Korea. That's it. That's the only country that's worse.
Really?
Yeah, it's horrible, man.
Shit, I had absolutely no idea that
Yeah, look it
Iran
up.
was that time, man. There you go.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing, because everyone sees Iranians, and like most of them are like, especially like most of them outside of Iran, they're atheists or like they don't care, and they're like, oh well, then Iran must be like, no, but it's just a country where half the people have zero voice in the government. You know,
Right.
it's a country where half the people are literally condemned to death if they're open about their opinions. It's crazy place.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. Pretty much every, well, I think every Iranians I've ever met are like the nicest people, man.
Yeah, I love it.
And again, like I would never know that they came from a background like that. Like it's
it's illegal not to be.
yeah, have to be a nice person.
Being a dick is punishable by death.
Yeah, you get what is it, the
However,
70
like,
lashes.
I hate to be skewing the image of my fellow countrymen. It is a bit skewed, though, the population that you see outside of Iran, because it's often like, you know, people from more educated or like rich backgrounds who get to leave, you know.
Yeah.
So you're always kind of seeing like the best of us, not to be, you know, sucking my own dick, but like it's not like they're still lovely.
He can do.
Yeah.
You'll get to see that at the next gig. So.
Yeah.
Next music video.
Oh yeah. Don't give it away, man. It's supposed to be a surprise.
Behind the scenes. You heard it here first.
What do you do to warm up, Freddie?
Yeah. Keeps it going.
Just opens the vocal cords.
That's why we're looking for a new guitar.
The last one didn't like it when I did it to him.
Oh man. And the conversation just took a whole new direction here, man.
Well, at least it's not politics.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Something I know about.
Let's bury the politics, man.
Yeah. Oh,
But
man,
like super interesting, man. Thanks for sharing that. I mean, that was a bit of an eye opener for me, man. That's
yeah.
crazy.
No, it's hopefully better times are coming.
So where
it's
would
just
so
yeah,
I was about to say, but so coming back to your music,
yes.
where would like a good target audience be? So you mentioned Europe earlier. Would that be would that be something you're gonna try and aim for moving forward?
Yeah, well, I guess with melodic kind of metal stuff, the market is mostly South America, Europe, Japan, I guess. These are like the places. Yeah, these are the places where, like, you know,
You'd probably start out by, you know,
Europe,
targeting those places and see what the response was. Sometimes it can be a little bit unpredictable, but
Right.
usually those scenes are pretty big.
Yeah. In America, you never know. Hey, America, anything could go. Like, there's some stuff where like, oh, Americans like this. We're like, oh, they also like that. Huh. It's just such a vast kind of diverse place. So,
but it's all, but they also have states that are almost as different as each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so
different countries. Yeah,
absolutely.
Big in some of the states.
Yeah. But I think, again, if you're selling personality, then I guess music becomes like a bit secondary. You know, that's really is what we kind of are aiming for, to just not let music be, you know, the only thing. Yeah. Because I don't think it's enough. No.
But so,
you know?
So what's your plan in regards to sort of targeting those audiences? Have you got any promoters, or are you planning on doing some of it yourself?
It's still pretty early days.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I guess we're just focusing on like, you know, getting the mixing and the mastering done and getting the video done, and then sort of I guess like it's a kind of a slow release before we think too much about, you know, then we'll start thinking about where we focus the online stuff, you know, where we, you know, we'll pay for some advertising and stuff, because that seems to be how you do things these days, like on Facebook, YouTube, like, you know, maybe Instagram, I don't know, those kind of platforms. And just start to target those to those kind of places and see what uptake is and kind of take it from there.
Yeah, and try to do as many shows as possible. I mean, like good shows. Like you don't want to be doing
for that. Like as far as the world goes at the moment.
Yeah, the only place where I think it's pretty much the best place in the world, right?
Mm. Oh it would be, man. Perth is
cool.
so
you could have said like New Zealand's better, but like not anymore.
Yeah, and people are coming to shows now because they're we've been locked down for a while, and people are still like frothing at the fact that like I can actually leave my house and go and like stand around people that I don't know, like that are right next to me, and not have to worry about getting this thing. And the hot weather's coming up soon as well, so I think it's going to be a good like live music season here.
Yeah, it'll be so unique because it'll probably let's hope anyway. Let's hope this is going to be the only summer in our lifetime where it'll only be local bands that be able to play. You'd imagine
it's got the potential to really like boost the local scene and bring it into like more people's minds.
There's another. I wonder if the Stage 5 stuff is gonna like be postponed again, because we have I have another band aside from the 3 bands that we do with Tom. There's another band that I do with the other keyboardist in the Disney band, Nikki. We do like a polka rock thing.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's in terms of like crowd size and stuff. That's actually like probably the one that we played to the biggest people. Like, because we do this one in Langley Park, where like I think the last one we did was like in front of like 5,000 people.
Shit. Wow.
Yeah,
that is a big crowd.
It's really, and that's the thing. We have that this year as well, but it's on October 31st. So I'm not sure if they're going to allow that because they just postponed that thing. So it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be crazy for the world to watch. To like, is Perth Perth's having like concert festivals of 10,000 like people. Like it's like it's going to be crazy.
Look, if it's gonna happen anywhere, it's
going to be here. Exactly.
It'll probably be here. Yeah.
But they're doing it in Wuhan. I just watched that.
No, I haven't.
They're having this mad festival, like just like thousands of people, and the world's like, "Can you fucking not?"
Insensitive to happen.
Yeah, man. But it's so funny at the same time. Like you see some venues overseas where they've got those drive-in concerts.
That's cool. And there's those other ones with the individual like platforms that they have, each and there's like 4 people on each one or something.
Man, imagine how crazy the mosh pits would be in those driving ones.
It would be.
It'll be a Rick and Morty episode.
It would probably be a bit absurd to go there, to listen to this crazy metal band, and you just have to sit in your car or stand on a platform.
Battery runs out.
But yeah, like it's just crazy, how it's only local bands that can play at the moment, because like they aren't even interested.
This has never happened. Yeah.
No, and it's a good time to release a single.
and again, hopefully it never will again. But it's gonna be a very special summer.
Because when I don't know what's the big pandemics that happened. It's like back in the 60s or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then was there much of I'm just thinking like in terms of like an international music scene, there wasn't.
It wasn't like Jimi Hendrix was selling out.
Back then they didn't have Facebook either. They didn't have all this hype and all the social media and
there
was like half the amount of people in the world anyway.
Well, it wasn't as bad though. Like the one, I think so there was one in 57 and one in 68. And one of them killed 1 million people and one of them killed 2 million people, which I guess back then is more because, like...
Yeah, percentage-wise,
Yeah, percentage-wise. But this is... We're almost hitting 1 million, and this was with every fucking thing we did, If we let this rip, it would have been probably like 6-7 million people right now.
Yeah, well, we're still in the middle of it, so it just...
Yeah,
It
vaccines
is.
are looking good.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. It is literally just because we are just sitting in this little bubble here in Perth, which is
Well,
Western Australia.
it's our reward for missing out on like all these bands. This is where it pays off.
It is, man. But
we've earned this.
So where can we see Diamond Sky perform in the future? Because you got a couple of gigs coming up as well.
Yes, we have Metal United Down Under on the 24th of October at the Civic. We have this Halloween show that was supposed to be at the Civic, but apparently they're working out another place. We have this other show in December. Well, we were supposed to do Perth Rocks. We're supposed to do Perth Rocks, but that's been
postponed as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't know the date for that yet. We're doing this festival that Kelvin's doing. Lovely guy, I love him.
Yeah, down in Bunbury. Yeah.
Down in Bunbury. Yeah. So many good bands. To play that one.
Yeah.
It's I think it's a charity show for
Stop the Violence.
Stop the Violence. Yeah.
Domestic violence.
Yeah. So we're doing that one, and we were gonna do one with Vanadium, but they're also figuring out the date for that, because that also was one of the casualties of the COVID stuff. It's funny, the singer from Vanadium, we used to work together at this youth center where we did this music program, and I still do it, but Tom's doing it in other places.
Yeah, you kind of stole my job.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, man. Thanks for that job. That's a good one.
No problem.
Yeah, and the singer from Vanadium, it's one of these older metal bands they used to do it in the 90s, and now they're kind of like reunited, and they're kicking ass. His kid, man, it's ridiculous. He's 12, and he could just like play Master Puppets on the guitar, on the drums, and he could sing, and he could play like Bohemian Rhapsody on the keyboards, and he's 12. It's mad, man. Like I've never seen anything like this, and that's what I do, for work, just teaching.
That's very, very high level parenting skills right there.
Yeah, that's like metal in his blood. So yeah, we're going to do one with Vanadium as well. We're just waiting for that date. So there's a lot of cool shows with a lot of lovely, people in all these bands. So we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We haven't done one since COVID hit, and it's just been all doing the single and the video and everything, and so we haven't haven't rehearsed yet either. So we're like aching to get back and actually start playing again. It's
another thing that's kind of cool is to I actually, before I couldn't pull this off because I didn't have in-ear monitors, and it was a bit hard on my vocals, but now I can with in-ears. If you're a singer at home, get in-ear monitors, so worth it. Doing when we're doing the System of a Down Under. So we kind of want to transfer the System of a Down Under crowd to the original band. So that'll be nice as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Don't know if that works. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, we'll see.
But so you guys sounds like you are sort of as individuals are super busy. And you're both in multiple bands. You got a full-time job.
Not me. I mean, it all kind of adds up into one full-time job, I guess. But yeah, Tom's pretty busy because he does all this and he works full time. Yeah,
I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
But
he's older than me. I still have some.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that at your age either.
Yeah.
I couldn't have handled it. And this is why we drink.
You drink. This is just Pepsi Max, man.
Yeah, no, it's right. It's just it's pretty hard. I've got the legal stuff going on from the other band that I was in, and then I've got the 3 other bands, and then 2 jobs, and it does get to be a lot.
And a social life and working.
Yeah, everyone in a band knows that, but it's it's pretty hardcore. But
that's the only way to be.
Yeah,
there's no alternative, so that helps. with all this like stuff, and we it's never like for me like I could be like making clothes from being an engineer, but it's never. I never even think about it. It was like, fuck that.
I took the leap. When was it? It wasn't last year. It was the year before. Like, it was before I went on tour. I sort of did that leap of faith. Did chuck the old Hail Mary, like quit the full-time permanent position with the Department of Education. This cushy job that I could have had for life, and retired on, and just went, but like then there's like playing music and writing music and doing shows and all of that stuff. You can't put a price on being satisfied. There's nothing compares to it. It's the rush of, like, for me anyway, the rush of getting on stage and like playing a show, and then like it's worth all the bullshit that goes with it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the best life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I wouldn't trade it for anything.
It's definitely a very unique feeling. It'd be nearly impossible to try and explain to someone who's not a musician.
And once you do it, I think once your body sort of gets used to the like amount of like the adrenaline rush that happens.
Yeah, it's like a drug
when you get on stage.
It is.
It's really hard to go back after that to any kind of normal like.
Yeah. Well, but for me, like because with all these bands, it becomes like very regular doing shows. But if there's not something on the weekend, I'm just rushing to like an open mic or a karaoke or something to just, because I kind of need like
to get that.
You need the rush.
Withdrawals.
You need the fix.
Because it's just so much better than any other state of mind. It's just so fun. So it just feels like home. It's so good. The lockdown was fucking brutal. Like as an extrovert musician, that was not fun. And I took it like super seriously. I didn't like for a month. I left the house twice, so I was like super strict.
So what did you get up to? Like if you had to just sit at home and actually take it that serious?
I was going nuts. I became a fucking epidemiologist. I was reading about COVID every hour of the day. I woke up, I read about COVID till it was night, and then I would just go to sleep.
I pretty much broke up with him.
Yeah. It was like, man, I can't talk to you. I was like, yeah, I know, I'm crazy. Like I'm completely aware that this I am crazy, but I can't think about anything else. This is just too fascinating of a time. Like I wasn't like scared and stuff because really, I mean,
you have no idea. Yeah.
If you're young and healthy, you're really not. You should be afraid to give it to someone else. You shouldn't be afraid for yourself. But it's just such an amazing time to be alive. Like
it's definitely very unique.
No, but everywhere. Like if this was gonna happen, which statistically it was gonna, like we had the Spanish flu, and something else was gonna come, especially with all this the way we eat animals and stuff. I'm happy that at least we saw it, like I'm happy it was in our time and not someone else's time. Like I'm happy I saw it. Like I would have been more happy if it didn't happen at all, but if it was gonna happen, like it was nice to be there to see. Oh my God, it's nuts.
Well, look, there's always a silver lining. There's always something good that comes from something bad.
For sure. And everything in life, that's one of the ways I kind of like make sense of, make peace with the adversities that life's kind of thrown at me. Because like, and every shit thing that's happened has led to something good. Like you could think about it and then you'll find it. You know?
That's right.
It works the other way as well. Like every good thing has led to something shit too. So like that helps you to not get like super excited when something good happens and not, super depressed when something bad does. Stoic.
Yeah. Cool, man. Look, let's try and see here if anyone wants to flick off a couple of questions. Are
there still people watching?
I think we've got no, actually right now I don't think we've got any. We had a peak of about 12, 13 at one point, but
it's the bloody politics, Freddie.
Yeah. No, Well, the good thing about it is like this here is just the way to sort of capture the audio. Like at the end of the day, this here goes onto the podcast, and that is the ultimate. That is the final destination for the product. And again, this is available for restream as soon as we're done here as well. So fear not, people will watch and hear this after it's done. So
that is good.
but look, on a finishing note, let's also try and wrap it up. We've been going for just over an hour and a half now here. A thing that I ask everybody on the show is if you have any good sort of tips and tricks, of good advice, anything you want to pass on to any other bands or artists or musicians or anyone out there who might say, look, is there any good advice from Diamond Sky or anything?
Be excellent to each other.
Be nice to each other.
Be excellent to each other. Yeah, like it's one of the you end up being closer than brothers, you know, in a way, because you're in the most stressful situations and you're on top of each other like all the time. You got like, especially if you go on a tour or something, you can't get away from the people, and the you know, the stress and the tension just rises, and you've got to learn how to like still be reasonable to each other during those times. You know, like that's you still want to be best friends at the end of it, and that's one of the biggest challenges. So I think it's like teaching yourselves to deal with each other, and like especially in heated situations, just like take a breath and like use humor to you know, to break up things like an argument or something, like chuck a little joke in there or something, and you know, things will all be good again, because like everyone will go through it. Like all bands that I've known you know, have these crazy stories of like big, like, you know, things, blowouts that have happened and stuff.
Yeah. I would say for me it would be trust experts. Like if you want to do if you know a bit of for example, you know, like because like we had this thing where we used to mix the stuff ourselves, like back in with the demos and stuff, and like if there's something that you can outsource to someone who you know can do it, you know, and just take that thing off of trust the experts in the field, whatever it is, and then just let them do it because that's their thing. That's one thing. I guess like there is a bit of a DIY kind of obsession that people just think just because theoretically you can do it, you can, but it's just not worth it. So a lot of times you will get like much quicker results if you just let someone that's their thing do it, and you focus on what you're good at, what you're really good at.
Agree 100%. So, yeah,
that's one thing.
Especially on the mixing and mastering, as you were talking about. That is something. Yeah, if you can get someone that's really really good at mixing and sort of shaping your recording. Absolutely. Don't.
Well, it's also just, it's not even like you can actually be good, but you got to see where you're best at, because the time you spent on doing something you're good at, you could have spent doing something you're best at and give that thing to someone that's their best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, that's actually a really good way of looking at it. So
like, because everyone kind of like puts a price on their time. It's like, oh yeah, but you lost that time that you could have spent on something you're really good at. You know? I don't think people should be afraid of just, you know, letting people who are like best at what they do to take over. You know?
So I suppose you could also sort of maybe sum it up and say like, know your strengths and weaknesses and try.
Know your strengths and weaknesses and just stick to it. Stick to the good ones and be best.
That's it, man. And where should people go if they want to sort of stay on top of what you guys are doing in the future?
Facebook. For Diamond Sky Facebook, there is the Facebook page. We're waiting to start the Instagram page once the single is out. So you'll see that too. Diamond Sky Facebook. If you want to check the Farawayland band with all the Disney songs and whatnot, Farawayland on Facebook. That one has an Instagram as well.
Yep.
System of a Down Under on Facebook. And if you want to catch the polka band that we do with Nikki, that is, we don't have a Facebook page, but that you'll see us. Any Oktoberfest event that you go, we're probably going to be there because we already have like tens of shows for that for October. So you'll see us around with the accordion
and sorry, what was that band called again?
It's called the Polka Dots.
Polka Dots.
Yeah, we went back to polka dots. Yeah, it's crazy. Like that's the one that we've actually played in front of thousands of people, but it doesn't really have a Facebook page. We just use Nikki's like mad social media skills to get gigs because she's a superstar and she just gets gigs all the time. Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
That's awesome. It's just like polka, but like a lot of rock songs and a lot of new stuff. But
sweet. So System of a Down Under on Facebook, Diamond Sky AUS, I think it is on your Facebook page, and
that's a username thing. But like if you just type Diamond Sky,
Diamond Sky, and then Faraway Land. Yep. Yes, fantastic, man.
All right.
Before we wrap it up, have you guys got any? Have you got any shout outs or anything you wanna? Anyone you wanna name drop?
We shout out a lot of people. We could sum it up. All the
mom and dad.
Oh yeah, mom and dad.
Hey.
Sister, my niece and nephew.
Everyone who's been just so nice because like so much help. We've been getting like so many people. Like Trent, he just sat in the cold for us to use his car. This really cool car we used for the music video. Yeah, they're just like it's just such a tight little scene that people just do stuff for each other just out of being decent. There was this one guy that I only knew for like one day, and he had this really sick, old-fashioned American car that we kind of wanted to use in the video. And I was like, hey man, can we borrow your car for the video? And he just only knew us like once, and then he was like, yeah man, he just sat in the cold for us to like shoot the bit of the video with the car,
like several hours with
and that's not an isolated story. There's just like so many of that in all the different projects that we do.
Yeah, the people that have kind of followed us like between them as well. There's been a lot of people who come up and after a performance they go, hey, what else do you guys do? And they actually start coming to all of this stuff, and it's just like that's really humbling. It's like it's really amazing. Yeah, and because it just like it transcends just the thing that you're just doing. It's like they're there to actually see us like as people and what we do, and it's like that's shout out to all of those people. That's amazing. That's kind of why I keep doing it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Sure. Awesome. Man. Good stories, guys. Really appreciate your time, and I hope you aren't driving home tonight.
Pepsi Max, man.
Grab an Uber.
We're a couple, remember? Stay in the same bed.
Fantastic, man. And just before we finish here, when is the new single out? When can we expect to see the video?
I wish we had a date for you.
Yeah, but it won't be more than a couple of months.
Yeah,
that's the max.
Before Christmas.
Definitely before Christmas.
We promise.
Yes,
definitely.
That we promise.
That locks us in.
But it's good, man. The video is looking so good.
Fantastic, man. Really looking forward to seeing it. And look, man, let's do another one when the video is out and have a chat.
Yeah.
We've got some more geeks, man.
Sounds great.
Wicked, man. Thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Right,
and
stay
in touch.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, man.
So
Cheers, guys.
Thanks.